Have you ever read a post online that sounded convincing but just didn't feel right? Maybe a friend said, "We should ban homework because everyone hates it." At first, it might seem like a solid point until you pause and ask, where's the reason? Where's the proof? In a world full of short text, social media posts, opinion pieces, short essays, it's easy to be persuaded by arguments that are loud, emotional, or popular, but not necessarily strong. In this lesson, we are going to learn to look beneath the surface. You will learn how to spot the building blocks of an argument, the claim, the reason, and the evidence, and how to tell whether the argument is solid or shaky. Hello, I am Siti Fauziana, the instructor for this lesson. Welcome to this micro-credential module of learning arguments in short text. In this first part, we are going to focus on how to spot arguments and look at how they are structured. There are 3 learning objectives of this lesson. This lesson aims that by the end of the lesson, students will be able to identify arguments and claim in short text, recognize the structure of an argument, claim, reason, evidence, and finally, distinguish strong versus weak claims. Let's get started. In academic writing, an argument is not a disagreement. Instead, it's a claim that is supported by reasons and evidence. When someone tries to convince you of something with logic or example, that's an argument. Think of it like this: claim plus reason plus evidence equals argument. The question now is, what is a claim? A claim is the main point or opinion that the writer is trying to prove. For example, university students should take public speaking classes. This is a claim because it can be debated. Some people might agree, some might not. If a statement cannot be argued against, like water boils at 100 degrees, then it is a fact, not a claim. Now, let's learn how to spot the claim. To identify a claim, ask, can this be agreed or disagreed with? Does the writer take a clear position? Often, claims appear in topic sentences or introductions. So look for signal phrases like, I believe, this suggests that, or it is important to. After the claim comes the reason. This explains why the claim is made. Then we look for evidence, the facts, examples, or expert opinions that support the reason. Let's look at an example. The claim is students should learn presentation skills. The reason for this claim is that these skills prepare them for the workplace. And the evidence is, according to a 2021 survey, 78% of employers value communication skills. Now, take a look at another example. In this second example, the claim is universities should offer financial literacy courses to all students. This is a claim because this statement is debatable. Some might agree, some might disagree. The reason for this claim is many students struggle with managing money during and after their studies. This is a reason that is used by someone who agrees with the claim. The fact to support this reason is the evidence. A study by Bank Negara Malaysia 2022 found that 65% of graduates face difficulties in repaying education loans due to poor budgeting skills. We can visualize this using an argument map to make it clearer. Claim, reason, evidence. This helps us break down complex arguments into smaller, understandable parts. Now let's apply the argument map to a real paragraph. Here's a short example. Volunteering during university builds essential soft skills. Students who engage in volunteer work often develop better teamwork, empathy, and communication. As a result, universities should make community service a graduation requirement. Let's break this paragraph down. The claim is universities should make community service a graduation requirement. The reason is volunteering builds essential soft skills. The evidence is students who volunteer develop teamwork, empathy, and communication. We can now map this out visually. Claim, reason, evidence. This helps us understand not only what the writer is arguing, but how they are supporting their viewpoint. Argument mapping is especially useful when you need to analyze a text quickly and clearly. Now that you've learned how to spot a claim and how to break it down to the three components, claim, reason, and evidence, let's move to the next part, which is to distinguish between weak and strong claims. Some claims are weak because they are vague or too personal. Compare, I think reading is nice, which is too vague, to extensive reading improves vocabulary retention among university students, which is specific and researchable. Another example is social media is bad. This claim is a vague and broad statement. It doesn't clarify why social media is bad, for whom, or in what way. In contrast, the second claim clearly identifies what, as in the social media use, who, students, the when and context during study hours, and the effect, which is negatively affects concentration. This specificity makes it clearer and easier to evaluate or support with evidence. Let's test your understanding on what we have learned so far. We will try a short text. Listen and think. What is the claim? Group projects encourage collaboration and problem solving. In today's job market, employers expect graduates to work in teams. Therefore, universities should include more group assessments. Pause the video and identify the claim. The claim is universities should include more group assessments. The rest are reasons and supporting points. Let's review what you've learned. Arguments have a claim, a reason, and supporting evidence. Strong claims are clear, specific, and debatable. You can use argument maps to break text down. In the next lesson, we'll focus on evaluating the strength of the evidence itself. Great job so far. You've just completed the section on identifying and analyzing arguments. Next, you'll move to an important skill, evaluating the strength of support evidence. Before you leave, be sure to download the practice worksheet and checklist provided. These tools will help you apply what you've learned and self-check your understanding. Remember, these skills aren't just for exams. You'll use them every time you read critically or write persuasively. Bye-bye.